We are still going to talk about lesson 17.2 regarding substitution, so solving systems of linear equations using substitution. We're just going to have one more step. So I broke it down into 2 days, and just to kind of simplify it for you, just give your brain a little practice with it first and then to take it one step further instead of doing it all at once. So before we had one equation that was set equal to a variable. Now we have no equation set equal to a variable. So all that means is we just have to do one more step in the beginning and then everything else is exactly the same. Okay, so if I'm looking, I don't have y equals by itself and I don't have x equals by itself like the previous examples. So what I need to look for is I need to look for a variable that does not have a coefficient out in front of it. So if I'm looking, this is a -2 in front of the x and this is a 3 in front of the x. I don't want to choose to solve for x here because I might get fractions and that's going to be difficult to work with. So I want to solve for y, and I can choose either this first equation or the second equation because y doesn't have a coefficient, either of them, and y is positive. So I'm just going to choose the first one. So let's solve for y. So what that means is we want to get this y by itself, similar to converting it to slope-intercept form. So add 2x, these cancel. So down here, because I'm running out of room, I'm going to rewrite it. Y equals 4 plus 2x, or I'm so used to writing 2x plus 4. Honestly, the order doesn't matter here. Okay, so now I have y by itself. Y equals this 2x plus 4 expression. So that is what we're going to take and plug in to the second equation where we see the y. So from here on out, everything is the exact same that we've done or learned previously about substitution. So the only thing new was this first step here. Okay, so I could have my other note sheet, my day 1 note sheet out in front of me, and I can follow steps 1 through 5 if I need to from here on out. So I'm going to take this 2x plus 4 and put it into the second equation where I see y. So start with your 3x plus, I don't have anything to multiply by, so I don't need parentheses. I see that I do have like terms here. 3x plus 2x is 5x plus 4 equals 9. Subtract 4 from both sides. 5x equals 5. I need x alone, so I'm going to divide both sides by 5. X equals 1. So I know what x equals, but I do not know what y equals yet. And there are multiple ways to figure that out. Okay, so you can choose to plug in x equals 1 here for x and solve for y, here for x and solve for y, or here for x and solve for y. And I'm going to work smarter, not harder, and I'm going to plug it in right here for x because y is already by itself, which means I have to do less work. Okay, so if I write it out, y equals 2 times x, but I know that x is 1, plus 4. Now, if you chose to plug it in to the original equation, the first one, or the second equation, it doesn't matter which one you choose, we're all going to get the same exact answer, as long as we do our math correctly. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 4 is 6. So then we're going to write it as an ordered pair, x, y. So 1, 6 is our answer here. Okay, I'm going to work down the page. So I'm going to work on the example directly underneath it, and then I'll go to the one at the top in just a second. So I'm looking for a variable without a coefficient. So I see a 2x, so I'm not going to solve for x here. I'm not going to solve for x here. I'm not going to solve for y here. So I want to solve this first equation for y because it does not have a number in front. It doesn't have a coefficient out in front. So maybe make a note of that so that when you're using this on a quiz or a test to help you, you can go back and see that. So that means I need to subtract 2x from both sides. So y equals negative 2x minus 2. And again, the order doesn't matter. So we are going to take this expression, negative 2x minus 2. From here on out, everything else is the same as before. We're going to plug it in, substitute it into the second equation. So leave the 5x plus, and it's 3 times y. Well, y equals negative 2x minus 2. And then I need the equals negative 8 at the end. $5x, I'm going to leave that alone, plus, oops, before I write the plus, I should have seen what comes next. It's 3 times negative 2x, 3 times negative 2x, so this makes it negative 6x. 3 times negative 2 is negative 6, and that's equal to negative 8. Now I have like terms right here on the same side of my equal sign, so I'm going to combine these like terms. 5 take away 6, we get a negative 1x. Add 6 to both sides. Negative 1x equals negative 2. I can't have a negative 1, so I need to divide both sides. Those cancel. X equals 2. But we're not done with this question yet. We need to plug in x equals 2 to find our other unknown variable, which is the y. I can plug in x equals 2 here and solve for this y. I can plug in x equals 2 here and solve for this y. Or I can plug it in here because y is already solved for, so it's less work. Whatever you prefer, you're going to get the same answer no matter what. This is an x right here. So I'm plugging in what x equals, which is 2, substituting it in, minus 2. This is negative 4 minus 2, so it's negative 6. Two, negative 6. So when we're looking to solve for this last question on the front, I look for a variable without a coefficient. I see that I could either choose to solve this one for y or this one for x. It doesn't matter. We've solved both of these first two examples for y, so I'm going to switch it up on you. And we're going to choose to solve this one for x because sometimes we do have to solve for x. So I want you to have both types of questions as an example. Ooh, and then I wrote y. Sometimes it's hard to talk and write and record all at the same time. So I said x and I wrote y. So solve for x because the other examples we solve for y. So let's switch it up. Sorry, it looks terrible. But solve for x. So that means we want this x alone. So we're going to subtract y from both sides. These cancel. So I get x equals, order doesn't matter here, so negative y plus 4 or 4 minus y. Whatever order you choose to write it in, we're going to get the same answer. So now this expression, 4 minus y, goes in right here where you see the x. So this needs to be plugged in right there. So start with 2y minus 4 times 4 minus y, end parenthesis, equals 2. So the only difference from this given equation to the one I wrote is x comes out and sits on the bench. 4 minus y is the sub or the replacement. Now keep going. And if I'm looking, my variables match here, so I'm solving this equation for y. So distribute and combine your like terms. Negative times negative is a positive, so be really careful with your signs here. Then I have like terms. 2y plus 4y makes 6y. Add 16. 6y equals 18. Divide both sides by 6. So y equals 3. Now, reminder, you can take y equals 3 and plug it in wherever you want. Y equals 3 could go here, and you could solve for x. Y equals 3 could go here, and you could solve for x. Y equals 3 could go here and solve for x. Does not matter. I'm going to choose this one highlighted in orange. So 4 minus y, so 4 minus 3. 4 minus 3 is 1. So my answer is 1, 3. So what I want you to do is flip this note sheet over on the back, and I want you to try these questions that are on the back side of the worksheet. There's 4 of them. You can do it.